Well, good evening, everyone. Happy Tuesday once again. I know it's always an odd thing to say because not many people look forward to Tuesdays. But anyway, I'm really excited for kind of tonight's little live. It's been let's see, last week we were doing last week we did our live Corbin Cash pick. So that was needless to say a ton of fun. Oh, got this one. Let me get rid of this. Um, Sorry about that. Yeah, so last week we did our Corbin Cash pick, and I'll kind of get into some other stuff that was kind of going on this past week when I was at Jason. So a lot of things have been kind of going on the last week or so. So looking forward to kind of just easing into tonight. I'll if you guys stick with me for a little while, I'll have a fun little clip to kind of show you guys later on. So, but it was a fun week, I guess. Just to kind of give you a little recap. Wednesday showed up at Jason's, did his live stream with him. Had a good time. Needless to say, doing that blind, that was a ton of fun. And for anybody who doesn't know, I'll show the clip in a little later on in the live to kind of give you a little idea of maybe how much fun I was having. So kind of went through a blind flight of our M&J picks to see exactly which ones we could select, whether we could do it, whether we could choose exactly which one it was. So I think I ended up winning 2 to 1.5 because I'd kind of provided a little bit of some, I'll say, slightly false information. There were some influences as to why the why the information was kind of provided in different kind of context. So anyway, we did the little blind, and that was a lot of fun. I mean, trying to pick out even our barrel picks is a ton of it's very difficult proposition, needless to say. So it was a lot of fun. So let's see. Then Thursday, a little bit of a rough day. Did some stuff kind of around Jason's. Did some stuff with the wife, kind of around Dublin, Ohio area. So kind of checked out the little town. I'll say this: the Dublin area is, I'll say, some much nicer than I was even thinking it was. I'd been there before, but never really kind of ventured out of kind of Jason's area. But yeah, overall, nice area, great food, good bars, a lot of like kind of a cool downtown area in Dublin. We got this kind of cool S bridge that gets you across the river from the old side to the new side, which was, I think, pretty cool. And then Friday was the big day. So for the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, we were able to do our high bank pick, which was a lot of fun. They did a great job. Adam Hines, who is one of the owners, head distiller, blender, all of that there, walked us through the entire kind of process of everything that they do there. So I think high bank is probably something, I know distribution's a little bit tough, but it was a really cool place. So I was really kind of enjoying the high bank. So we were able to select a double oak bourbon, which was fantastic. That was a lot of fun. Had a lot of good people participating in that. So that was a lot of fun. And then the same day, a few hours later, we ended up at Middle West Spirit. So kind of went through that, ended up with a great cast strength pumpernickel rye, which was fantastic. So that was a lot of fun kind of going through all of that. So it was a big day. Kind of met up with Dano was there. Everett was there as far as the pick. Rob Blanchard was there. Nicholas and his girlfriend were there. So a lot of stuff. I don't think I'm missing anybody. Am I? Oh, it'll come back to me. So yeah, like Stacy said here, High Bank Double is a great whiskey. It really was. We were surprised. He did some kind of other finishing things, And he's also going to be working on something for us kind of next year. So we're going to let that kind of ride. That'll be kind of a fun, slightly experimental type of thing, again, with a double oak in a secondary finishing cask. I'll say that. So that was kind of a cool thing that they were able to do for us. So anyway, it was a really fun day on Friday. A lot going on. Met with some great people, of course. Then Saturday, we kind of winded her down a little bit. We just kind of laid low a little. We actually went to, well, I shouldn't say laid low, but we went out for some brunch and then hit up the Top Golf. So Top Golf was a ton of fun. So we did that for a couple hours with Jason and his girlfriend Kim, and then what did we do after that? Yeah, went back. It was so darn hot. We had to go back, kind of freshen up, so to speak, and then we kind of all went out after that, kind of downtown Dublin area, and had a good night. And then we were out of there basically Sunday morning and on our way back to Wisconsin. And here we are, Tuesday night live stream, and I wanted to kind of get into a couple of different things. Few bottles tonight, but let me go back and say hi to a few people. Johnny Top Dog in here right away. Mr. Schwartz, good to see you. Eric, good to see you. Smoking Firewater, good to see you. Mr. Roger Reese, good to see you, buddy. Timmy Gorgeous, good to see you, Timmy. Jonathan, good to see you. What's up, dude? Mr. Widener, good up. How's it going, Mikey? Let's see. There he is. JG, 1-800 Smash Now. Mr. Orlando, good to see you, Anthony. Of course, Stacy, if you have not subscribed, head over to Four Leaf Whiskey and give her the old subscribe. Let's see, what do you got, Roger? My girlfriend has an apartment in downtown Dublin, Bridge Park. Really cool area. I'm assuming that's where we were, considering we went across that big old S bridge. It was really the only bridge that we saw. So I'm going to assume, but yeah, very, very cool area. So, all right, Hawk, did you get used? Yeah. We didn't get any, but I probably should have asked, right, G? What else we got here? Mr. John Kranz, good to see you, Johnny. All right, Robert, you got breaking news. I'm actually catching your live stream in the beginning instead of an hour later. Cheers. Oh, thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. So, let's see. They have some great Finnish whiskey. Yep, definitely. That was the High Bank. Brunch means for yeah, you gotta love it. Mr. Blanchard, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Mr. Wiley, good to see you. Yes, we'll get into that slightly later on. So cool. All right, that's what I thought. I mean, it looked like the only bridge that they kind of had. So what do you got? So I worked on the street from High Bank. Yeah, it was we did have some lunch there as well. So double duty between here. Oh yeah, Marty should probably be wrapping up, I'm guessing, pretty soon. I know he was going through that, finishing up with the blind. So the doer of stuff. Cheers all. I'm excited to hear what you have to say about the Ancient Cave. I love them. Yeah, so this will be my first time actually trying it. When we were at Ben Holladay to do our pick, we weren't able to try anything. We did get into the cave. Now, again, this cave area wasn't super big. But again, it's all kind of their experimental stuff, allows them to kind of do some fun things. So we'll get into that a little bit later. So let's see. Scott, unfortunately, I don't until 5:45 usually. Love your channel. Oh, appreciate that, bud. Thank you very much. So all right, let's do this. So what I wanted to do was just talk a little bit about, kind of, as I've done some reviews, actually haven't done a formal one yet on the Jim Beam 7. So I've got that coming, as well as kind of maybe mixing that in with another video that I'm kind of working on involving that as well. But I just got it yesterday, opened it up, tried it a little bit last night, and was pleasantly surprised. So we'll kind of get into that. And I'm looking forward to kind of ending the live tonight on a kind of a fun note from this past Wednesday when I was at Jason. So I think some of you guys will probably know what it's probably about. But again, fun video or fun live stream that we did last week on Jason's. But anyway, so let's kind of talk a little bit. And let me ask you this before I kind of dive into the new Jim Beam Black 7 year. I'd say I just picked this up yesterday. I got it on sale. I guess I shouldn't say on sale. They always say there's a sale, but it was $23. I don't know for any of you, if you get these or see these, if this was in that kind of $23 range. It said it was normally like 30 some dollars, but that didn't seem right. It seemed a bit high in terms of what this was. So I don't know if it's normally a 30 some dollar whiskey or not. But anyway, I picked it up for $23 and actually had a $3 off coupon thing that I think I had to mail something in or whatever it was, but was added to this. So basically it's going to make this thing $20. So I was kind of excited. I've heard good things about it. I know there was the Jim Beam Black, the kind of extra aged that are still kind of floating around out there. I don't know if that's fully taking the place of this or not, if that's the idea, but we'll see. Anyway, we'll see. I don't remember if the Jim Beam Black was also like 90 proof like this. So I haven't had that one in quite some time, and I probably should have looked a little closer to see exactly what the price was on that. But I think they did have that. It was slightly higher in price, but this was the one I was looking for. So saw Beam 7 in South Carolina for 90. All right, cool. Okay, so basically I think after the thing I'll end up getting it for about $20, which I'll say a 7-year-old bourbon, again, 90 proof. It is what it is. You know, if you're not someone who's always drinking a bunch of higher proof stuff, you know, nightly, which typically I'm not, this kind of falls right into that category of just getting a little bit of that bourbon profile in you and have something to enjoy without it being something that's going to kind of blow you away. So I was curious to see what some of the other guys and ladies were kind of seeing this thing priced for. I know you can get I believe a 175 of this for also, I don't know, maybe $30 or $32, which probably wouldn't be a bad deal either. So, all right, let's kind of dive into the Jim Beam Black, aged 7 years, 90 proof. I know they gave very kind of generic, I think, tasting notes on here or something, but maybe not. I thought they provided something, but again, I think I saw something that indicated it was vanillas, caramels, all those kind of classic things. And I would say last night when I was just kind of sampling it a little bit, it fell kind of right in line with that. So yeah, and it is that, you know, again, it's got that kind of really nice, like caramel, vanilla kind of confectionery nose a little bit on it. Nice oak on it, actually. So I think there's more of an oak presence on this little 90 proof than maybe some people would necessarily think. Yeah, nice, again, vanillas, caramels, little hint of spice. Very, very tried and true. I think you could give this to just about, I think you could give this bourbon to just about anybody. Very entry level, very approachable. You know, so far on the nose, again, like I mentioned, very, very approachable. Maybe some very light kind of dark fruits. You know, and I guess one thing that never really kind of stood out to me was that real kind of peanutty profile oftentimes that Beam will have. I'm not picking that up. And again, I don't know if it's kind of blended out a little bit when the proof is kind of down with some of the Beam, or if that really starts to kind of shine more at their more higher proof cask strength type of things. But this is very quintessential bourbon profile. Vanillas, caramels, a little bit of spice, some nice oak. So I mean, this is very, very much that. What's up, brother? Good to see you, Kelsey. Let's see. I can't find it in the. Yeah, I'm guessing, Robert. I'm guessing that's going to probably pop up any time now for you guys. I mean, the distribution obviously of Beam is going to be crazy. So, but overall, I mean, I think so far on the nose, it's a very just tried and true, right down the middle type of bourbon. What's up, brother? Mr. Sawyer, good to see you, buddy. We need to probably try to get together soon. Maybe play some golf. Get out and hit the balls around a little bit. All right, Wiley, what do you got? I think Tin Cup 10 year and Tin Cup 14, a great summer daily low proof sippers at 86 proof, 84 with actual flavor. Yeah, and that's nice when you can get those kind of just easy sipping, lower proof, like you mentioned, kind of summer whiskeys. That's nice, So these oftentimes I look forward to, maybe with a lighter, if you're a cigar person, and maybe a lighter cigar or something like that, just to not completely blow away the bourbon or whatever it is you're sipping on, because a more robust cigar could probably really, really overshadow this thing. So, all right, Mike, what do you got? I tried it a couple weeks ago. Nice for the price. Good. All right, good. I'm glad you like it. So, all right, let's get into this and see what we got here. Actually, I'll say for a 90 proof, this was a thing I was getting last night. It's fairly creamy. Like it has a really nice mouthfeel. Again, the nose and palate so far, just off the first sip, match, I'd say perfectly. Vanilla, caramel, spice, oak, maybe a slight little fruit note that's there. I will say this, that I wasn't getting last night that I am picking up a little bit tonight, is definitely more of that little bit of a peanut kind of note. And it's really kind of showing up more on the finish. But again, that's a little bit of their profile. So you have to kind of know that going into it. But again, I'm going to say at this $20, $23 price point, man, I think it's going to be a really hard, bourbon to beat. They're giving us a great age. And even what I'll say about this is the fact that it's older, slightly older at 7 years old, or a minimum of 7 years old, even as they blend it down to 90, you've got a more developed bourbon. So you're going to probably retain more notes versus a younger whiskey that they proof down to 90, and you're kind of left with a lot of those still very youthful, kind of grainy notes. This doesn't have that. It's just very straightforward. And this is where I think the value from the big boys, Beam, all of these kind of places, really becomes a true value, is you're getting those older whiskeys. Again, even as they proof these things down, they're retaining a lot of those flavors because of partially the age that they've got. So, again, without knowing exactly what the barrel proof is, then they blend it down to, I don't know that. But overall, I'm going to say at $20 so far, it's maybe one of the better, if not best, values in that kind of proof range, and value, all of that availability. I'm sure it's going to be very, very available for everybody very soon. But man, I'm going to say it's really nice, even getting some kind of on that finish as it lingers a little bit, some nice kind of honey notes. Yeah, really, really nice. Let's see, what do we got here? All right, Gandy, what do you got? Just pick up a great new summer sipper, the 2XO Frencho, offering fantastic low proof under 40 bucks. Again, that's, we're kind of in that day and age a little bit of trying to find, some of these values. And again, to each of us, whatever that value is, it is what it is. But I think finding these whiskeys that kind of, meet our expectation of what it is we want, and it works for price wise, then that's great. I mean, that's really what value represents to each person, is what that is. So let's see. James said the 14 year at nearly 75 bucks is hard daily sipper. I don't know. Couldn't agree more. I think Bardstown, for what it is they're doing, their ryes are fantastic that they're producing, from Bardstown. I think that's probably, in all honesty, one of my favorite things that they do is pump out those fantastic ryes. You're probably going to start to see a lot of those, in that 6, 7+ ish years. So Brian says, to me, the new Beam is just Old Tub in a different bottle. Man, you know what? I don't know if I agree or not. I'm guessing that this is maybe slightly older. The Old Tub for me, and if I'm not mistaken, I think the Old Tub is 100 proof. Correct me if I'm wrong, but for some reason I thought it was 100 proof. I still get that. Now, it's been a little while since I've had the Old Tub, but the one thing I remember with that was getting this more kind of sharp, like kind of either grain or alcohol note that was slightly off-putting. I know that also was right around that $20 price point as well. But boy, I just kind of find myself thinking back to it not being something that was as refined or as enjoyable as this. Again, that's me. So I think this was in reference to the tin cup. So I mean, it's low proof. You just have to be good with that. If you're okay with that, you want something again at a lower proof, and you're okay with sipping on that as that profile, cool. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let's see what we got here. Oh man, best Robusto cigar recommendation. I mean, I'd say depending on, again, G, what it is that you're sipping on. Some of the Robustos. I mean, I'd say, if you're talking, brands versus just style, I'd say for kind of an easy smoke, always probably lean a little bit more towards the Dominican cigars. They don't have the big punch or big kind of tobacco spice notes as something from, Nicaragua, Honduras, things along those lines. So some of the Dominican cigars still have those nice, obviously, kind of tobacco leather notes, but are much easier to pair with a lot of things. Now I love Rocky Patel. Some of the Oliva series are really nice. There's a lot of really great boutique cigars that are out there. So I have lots of different ones. I don't have a lot of boxes. One of my favorite Dominican brands is Continental, and they do an incredible job. So if you guys see them, let me see if I can find real quick. And this is a great Continental cigar. Let's see, is that it? It says our store is currently unavailable, but that's a little bit weird. Yeah, I don't know why it's saying, but anyway, you could probably find them on Instagram. I know it's Continental. They do a fantastic job. Probably one of my favorite. They have a gold edition that's fantastic. So I'd say any kind of light, if you could find a Connecticut that's got a little bit more of a lighter wrapper, so that should smoke a little bit softer. So, well, congratulations winning on Marty's stream. So, yeah, okay, the Old Tub is the 100 proof. So, yeah, I just kind of going back to that one was just something that, I don't know, it's just something I think remembering back wasn't overly crazy about. So, all right, what do you got, Robert? I'm sipping on a Jack Daniel's single barrel, single barrel proof. Maybe that actually isn't over 130 proof. I found one. All right, yeah, a light one. Sounds like a light one. Yeah, Adam, you had one of the Continentals the other night. I think actually you and Dane both had the ones that I had. So I don't expect you to remember anything about about that Friday. So Adam was like me on on Friday night. I was like that on Wednesday night. So Let's see, Perdomo. Yeah, love a good Perdomo. A little bit on the pricier side for some, but yeah, love the Perdomo. They do a really good job. I think I was smoking a T52 um, on let's see, it must have been Friday. Yeah, Friday was great. So I mean, I like something that's got a little bit more kind of spice, kind of tobacco driven type of cigars. But yeah, you can't go wrong with a Perdomo. Yeah, the Liga Privadas are fantastic as well. I think mine was a T52. Um, all right, what do you got here? Skull Cap guy. Smoked a Patriot Cigars Moab. Super good smoke. I have not had that yet. I've not had anything. Yeah, I've not had anything from them. I don't believe. And there's so many brands, but oftentimes just going through, and I've got humidors like all around the house. I've got lots of individual sticks and things that have aged. My oldest stuff that I've got aging is probably from prior to me being married, which was 2007. I think I picked up some Dominican cigars while I was there that were actually for export. Um, they were for export, so they must have been 2000. I don't know, I'm gonna say 2005, 2006. So we're coming up on 18, 19 years of aging those bad boys. Haven't smoked one in a while. The last time I did had a really tight draw. So, but just got to get the little poker in there. So, just got a sample pack of Oliva. I saw you had posted something the other day. I'll be interested to kind of hear what you think. That's a nice, when you get those sample packs from Oliva, gives you a really good idea of what the level of smoke it is that you like. So, Mr. Durrell, how you doing, buddy? Cheers to you as well. Benny, how's it going, buddy? Too hot for Skype. Oh boy. Um, yeah, I'm sure you probably weren't feeling great the next day. So, AJ Fernandez, not something for me that I'm a huge fan of, but again, to each their own. I will say this, it's not something I go to very often. It's been a while. Maybe I need to kind of go back to it. So, can never go wrong with a good Puro. That's for sure. So, Liga stuff isn't in the same since the sell-off. Too many people left, and the company went to crap. I think I heard something about that. Now, the Liga, the T52 I had was from years ago. Probably I had a handful of those left, and I had a couple in the humidor, so I grabbed that and brought that along. Tatuaje is another good brand. I had a couple of those. Actually, I think that wasn't what I was smoking. I think I just did the other day one of those. So, Old Farm Show, welcome. Hello to you as well. Skull, I just picked up a 10-pack of the Crown. Love Crown Head. Love what they do. That'll be a cool one. Fat Bottom Betty's, good cigar. I think you'll really dig that one. So, yeah, hit me up if you ever have any questions or just kind of what it is you're smoking. Love to hear kind of all those things. So yeah, Tatuaje is a great one. Crown Head's good. Stolen Throne, haven't had anything from them, or Black Label. So Crown Head's always does a really solid job as well. So what do we got here? Crown Heads has some really, yes, they do. Dunbarton Foundation. What I will also say is, oh man, I just lost it in my train of thought. It's probably my favorite tobacco overall. Shoot, my God, how can I not even think of this right now? It'll come to me. But hey, happy birthday, brother! I didn't know it was your birthday. If it is, happy birthday, everybody! Hey, have a little cheers and happy birthday to Mr. Durrell. Oh man, why can I not think? It's killing me right now. I could leave. Yeah, that's fine. I understand what it's like to be an executive producer. That's for sure. So, also just picked up a Corbin guy 7-year single barrel. Yeah, we just did our single barrel pick. Ours will be over 9 years once we get it bottled, which will probably be sometime in September. So we're looking forward to some new Corbin Cash. Our pick from last year was a 7-year. So actually, I think it was actually close to 7.5, almost 8 years actually. So what else we got here? Yep, don't smoke a lot of them, but a nice one as well. So, oh my God, it's killing it. I cannot think of. I hope one of you guys say Aganorsa. Thank you very much, Roger. It's probably overall my favorite tobacco. Period. I love what it is they do, and I think anything that has, and maybe Roger, you can agree or disagree, but I know they sell a lot of their tobacco to others, but I think anything that's under the actual Aganorsa Leaf brand does. I just think that they seem to hold back the best tobaccos for themselves, and it's probably overall, if I can find something that is branded as Aganorsa, it's something I really, really enjoy. I don't know what it is about it. I just love that. So, yeah, smoking Aganorsa Leaf. Oh, cool. So absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite. I think it's also approachable. I think they have a lot of different things, and it's something to explore. So, it was yesterday, but who's counting though? So, what number was it, Darrell? What number was it? 30 years old? What a young guy. Just a young whippersnapper, that's for sure. So, definitely Aganorsa tobacco, very, very popular. I know they sell a lot of other stuff. So, all right, let's do this. Let's kind of set that one aside. Now let's get into maybe my second, I think, favorite kind of new release, and this is definitely a new release of 2024, and that's going to be obviously the Green River Full Proof. I think what they did with this in terms of price wise, at $50, again, you're in that 6-7 year ish range for a nice full proof. Now this is coming at 117.3 proof. So it's 39. Oh boy. So coming up on the big 4-0. Gonna have a big blowout for that one. So definitely try it. So anyway, going back to the Green River, I think the full proof, and one of the things I'll say about Green River, I think their entry into the market probably last year or the year before with their bourbon, their rye, or their wheated bourbon, the rye, all of these things. The rye, I believe, maybe even this year, if I'm not mistaken. And now the newest over the last maybe month or so ago, they've just kind of launched their full proof. This again at 117.3 proof. What I love about Green River, they've started to kind of develop already this little bit of a unique profile to them. It's got this really great kind of cherry note that it has, and it's very more like black cherry, like a really nice just cherry note that mixes well with the oak and the spice. Again, we're kind of talking, cigars a little bit, but that leather tobacco has a lot kind of going on. And when they release this, basically cast strength. I mean, it's 117.3 proof for the most part. I mean, probably some water added. If they went in at 125 proof, again, I don't know if my understanding is if they go in with a full proof, then they're going in at 125. What they come out at is a whole other kind of ball game. So, but this came in at 117.3, essentially in my mind, kind of a cast strength bourbon. So, but again, I think for the price, the overall availability of this one, they're kind of, in my mind, one of the brands right now that's really kind of hitting the market with pricing, availability, their flavor profile, I think are all just working extremely, extremely well. So, all right, what do you got, Johnny? Me and Renee fell in love with the Green River. We have our second Green River pick on July 9th. Can't wait. We picked with a local store. Just cool. And you can't go wrong with those. Like, to me right now, I've had a few of the Green River picks and things. Now, again, I'm a bit biased, but the one we did, the Jorge T Swag, was for me hands down the best Green River I've had to date. I mean, the amount of cherry, pipe tobacco, all of that it had, it was so developed. It was so dark and rich and all of that. I absolutely loved it. So my first sculpture, yeah. I do mix in some content a lot of times. I mean, sometimes it's more product review stuff. You know, YouTube does not like cigars, period. So when you get into showing them, smoking them, any of that, they shut a lot of that stuff down, unfortunately. So apparently other things that are on YouTube are okay, but God forbid a cigar gets shown, I don't know, it's like you're committing this major sin of some sort. But all right, Fred Minnick likes the Green River a lot, says he was getting black licorice on his palate. Man, Tim, I don't know. Black licorice for me, like, that gets to be a very dominant type of note. If he gets it, great. I don't know. I mean, I don't typically get that. And, you know, for me, that becomes almost one of those dominant type of notes that's just very, man, that's tough. Black licorice or that anise, something along those lines. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I'm going to kind of look and see if there's anything in that. When I did the review of the Green River, the foolproof, I wasn't picking that stuff up. And again, to each their own. Whatever you get, you get. But it wasn't something that was jumping out at me. So we'll see what we've got here. Yeah, see, for me, there's just, you get that really beautiful, you know, again, light tobacco, nice cherry notes, good spice. Boy, really nice spice coming off on this one. Now, this has been open now for maybe a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks tops. Beautiful nose. You know, again, more of those vanillas, caramels, a little bit tried and true. But absolutely love that kind of like vanilla cake, cherry, strudel-ish, little pastry kind of notes to it. You know, that anise or that black licorice. I mean, if that was there for me, I feel like I could maybe pick it up. But again, it's one of those dominant type of things that would really kind of like jump out. And I'm not getting a lot of that. And that would make it a little bit, for me, a little off-putting. I'm not a black licorice fan really at all. And I feel like the vast majority of people probably aren't. But I love it. Yeah, good. I'm glad you liked it. So, all right, let's give this one a try, and then we'll get into we'll get into this real quick, and then we'll get into some fun stuff. Like right off the bat, I mean, if that cherry profile that it has, it's, again, it feels very kind of pastry forward, cherry pastry, a little bit of that nice spice, leathers, tobaccos, things along those lines. It's not super ramped up, but it's all there. Like it works very well together. All of these notes are there. It's got a late spice to it. The lingering kind of cherry, spice, oak that are there for me are really nice. I'm not getting a lot of that black licorice kind of note. I mean, it's more on the sweeter side to me. And for me, that black licorice, when it does come, it almost feels a little bit like you get that with some of those kind of tannic type of whiskeys. But again, hey, to each their own. I'm going to say this about the Green River Foolproof. I think for $50, everybody probably should have a bottle. If you haven't tried it, give it a try. I think it's one of those things where you can just sit down. It's an easy sipping 117. You know, I know we were kind of talking cigars before. I think this would work really well with something that wasn't you know, an overly powerful cigar. I think if you had something that was just a how do I put this? Not so tobacco forward, not so spice driven. I think this would work really, really well. Or if you did have that, just kind of tamper your expectations. Now, for me, cigar wise, I love when you have a little bit of the opposite effect. I don't always want my cigar and whiskey to blend really well. I want to taste both of them kind of independently, but still kind of work really well together, if that makes any sense. So here's, buddy. I'm hoping that when I get to August this year, and I probably need to kind of start working on this a little bit more, I'd like to put together a meetup for people within kind of the, you know, I mean, anybody can come from wherever they want, but I'm going to try to put together a nice meetup, whether it's here at my place or at a distillery or something along those lines. But I'll definitely let you know, or shoot me an email. Let me give you this real quick. I'll throw this up. Where the heck do I? Oh, here it is. All right. So you can send me an email. I mean, anybody, anytime, if you have questions, you can always shoot me an email. Happy to answer anything, suggestions, whether it's bourbon, cigars, whatever it may be, or just to kind of connect. But shoot me an email. I'll kind of keep you in the loop on that. I'll probably post on, I'll make some announcements here, but then as we get closer to doing all of that, I'll probably make an announcement on both Instagram and like kind of Facebook for anybody who wants to attend. So I'd love to meet up with you. Let's see. Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's mine. I know there are people who want a lot of the same on same, but that's not for me necessarily. Again, if I'm just smoking casually, I guess I really don't care. If I want to know if I have a really good cigar and a good whiskey, I want to have both of those feel at times independent, but still kind of work really, really well. So just pour the Green River 117.3, and that's what this is. So, and Johnny, maybe you can let others know. Like for me, I think it's a must-have bottle. I think for $50, the general availability, all of that, absolutely fantastic. So that'd be high on my list right now. And I think if you're getting into the everyday kind of top 24 whiskeys of the year, I think that definitely has to be included. I just think it's one of those bourbons that, with all of that kind of combined, is hitting all of those levels. So, all right, let's do this. Let's move that there, put that there, and let's get into a little bit of the Ancient Cave Collection. So for anybody who is unfamiliar with what the Ancient Cave Collection is from Ben Holladay, this is kind of what they are saying about that. Where is that? There it is. All right, so let's see if that pops up, and that will give you guys an idea a little bit of what the Ancient Cave Collection is. So here's what it is, and this is what it's basically saying. The Holladay Ancient Cave Collection is a series of bourbon aged in experimental barrels for a secondary finish. Every expression of the Holladay bourbon begins the aging process in a new level 3 char white oak barrel where it ages for at least 6 years in rickhouse B or C. Once the barrels are of age, a select few are chosen from the first floor to be dumped and rebarreled to an experimental, different taste profile that come from secondary finishes. So let's see. This was a structure been transferred, including 72 ricks. Yeah, a lot of that stuff going on. What else they got here? Kyle, who is their head distiller, is the one who kind of takes care of all of that. So anyway, they do an absolutely incredible job of, I think Kyle and his background and everything from that standpoint does a absolutely incredible job. So here's what we've got on this one. I think this is a newer one because I just got this bottle today. I'm not going to say who I got it from. I won it in a bet regarding the NFL draft last year and whether J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback from Michigan, would be a top 10 pick, which he ended up, I believe, being 11 or 12. So this was my winning bottle. So thank you to you know who for this. So all right, let's see what we've got with this. Actually, let's pour that, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about what this is. So again, 100 proof. This one was aged 7 years, 5 months. It is the finishing barrels are French oak. French oak seasoned, heavy toast, and a char 1. So those char 1s can give a really cool profile. When it has a heavy toast and a low char, it starts to really give off this really unique kind of profile. And as you can see, look at the color for that being that age and those finishing casks. Just to give you an idea, I mean, look at the difference. Now, again, you can see this also, I mean, it has secondary finishing casks, but still, just gives you an idea of what's kind of going on with that. So did I say ancient age? Is that what I said? Not ancient age. Ancient cave collection. I'm sorry, ancient age. Ancient cave collection is what this is. And yes, it is a 375. I believe the MSRP at the distillery is like $45. So basically, do the math. It's like a $90 bottle overall, 100 proof. But again, I like the finishing part on this. This is something that I'm really looking forward to. So oak, French oak seasoned, heavy toast, and a char number 1. So I don't know if this is available now. I believe it was just picked up. So maybe there's something at the distillery. So all right, so here we go. Ancient cave collection, not ancient age, but a lot of that French oak influence. I mean, you're getting a lot of, well, it's very, I'll say campfire, but what I mean by that is more of that kind of s'mores effect. A lot of that kind of chocolate, graham cracker, marshmallow, great spice, good actually oak notes on this. It feels like a really nice barrel influence. Boy, that's nice. A lot of heavy like vanilla notes. You can see that French oak and just that char or the heavy toast is really, really kicking in on this. Beautiful nose so far. Right, even 100 proof. I know we were talking cigars before. I might have to give this one a try, but beautiful nose so far. So, all right, cheers, guys. Let's give this one a try. Man, very, very charred marshmallow. The very first thing that kind of comes to mind. This will be a fun little review to do as well. I know these will all be kind of different, but very much that little bit of, all of us have done it. When you get that marshmallow in the fire for a little too long and that your marshmallow is on fire, you get that kind of charred, sweet kind of crust that it has, almost kind of caramelizing. It's the very first thing that kind of comes to mind. So beautiful nose, really nice on the palate, pretty creamy. Yeah, and this is where I'll say that heavy toast and that low char are working extremely well. It's giving a lot of sweetness to it, of course. So I don't want to say it's quite dessert forward, but it's very, very enjoyable. I will say if you do enjoy something that's on the sweeter side, this will be perfect for you. If you enjoy that kind of s'mores effect, again, I think this is something that's going to be absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, that's nice. Yeah. So again, the Ancient Cave collection from Ben Holladay. So I think they're doing overall they're doing incredible things. So just talked to one of the guys from Ben Holladay today. Um, for any of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club people, just got notification today that our both of our barrels are kind of ready to go, and I think they're going to work on getting those things picked up. So just got word on that today. So excited for those. But man, I'll tell you, overall, really really nice profile on this. It feels like it's a bourbon that you could just kind of sip on all night long. It has all of those really nice just attributes to it if, without having to be overly concerned with the proof. I think that really nice chocolate marshmallow, it just lingers for days. Good spice. Finish wise, I think it's nice. It's long from a sweet side. The lingering sweetness really, really remains. I would say if anybody can get their hands on one of the French oak bottles, I would highly recommend it. So, and again, it's cool that they're doing it in 375s. I wish would be more special releases that they would do as 375s, just to give an opportunity basically for double the amount of bottles. So I think it would be a great job. So all right, Robert, what do you got? Scott, what's your thoughts on Penelope cast strength versus Frey Ranch cast strength? I enjoy the Frey Ranch a bit more. Man, I'll say this: the last Penelope cast strength that I tried, Robert, was one of our picks, so that kind of discredits that a little bit. The Frey Ranch, what I will say is, I think you have to be aware of that terroir, that kind of grain forward type of bourbon. You get a lot of that with Frey Ranch, and even when we did our pick, maybe a month and a half or so ago, it was that. You just have to appreciate that for what it is. So comparing the two, boy, it's tough because you've got that kind of MGP profile versus something that is a very kind of more grain forward, but still rich and complex at the same time. So it'd be a hard one to kind of compare. I'd have to be in the mood for one versus the other, so I don't know if I could give you a real true like answer to that in terms of which one I'd like more. I mean, I'd probably like them both for what they were and their differences. So, but yeah, overall, I think that's a fantastic little bourbon, 100 proof, good notes, more like kind of cherry. I shouldn't say maybe cherry, but it does start to feel a little bit more plum, raisin. Yeah, I wonder if that'll kind of open up a little bit too. I mean, even for 100 proof, it feels very kind of like rich and complex. So, all right, let me move that down a little bit there. Get that there. So, all right, so we're getting close, but I wanted to kind of get into this will give you guys a good little laugh at the end of the night at my expense. So last week Wednesday, when we got to Jason's, it was a little bit later. I admittedly hadn't eaten very much. We'd been on the road all day. I think I had my wife had made like a chicken sandwich or something. I had that. Got to Jason's, and we were kind of just chewing the fat a little bit. And we were going to kind of dive into the live stream really quick. And again, for context, we each had chosen 6 in total, 6 total blind samples. And one of the 6 could not be one of our Mash and Journey picks. So we had to have an outlier in there. So we were, needless to say, going through all of these things for, I don't know, a good hour and a half or so. Prior to that, we were kind of tasting through some of the new bottles he had just gotten. So we were kind of tasting through that. Everything was kind of starting to catch up. So at the end of the night, and And one thing I'll also say is I did not know him very well, saw him a lot in just some of his live streams, some of his participation. But Scott Pigsley from Fifth Quarter Tailgate, if you're not aware of this, he just passed away, I believe, on Saturday. So before I forget, let's just kind of either raise a glass, cheers to him. I had talked to him a couple of times. Great guy. He was great in the community, like a lot of people are, but he was just a genuine dude. So if you can just say a little prayer for him and his family. I know he struggled with a lot of kind of health related issues, and it all kind of got to the point where it just no longer could be kind of tolerated on his end. So anyway, he ended up passing away on Saturday, and he'll be a big loss for the community. So before we kind of go any further, I just wanted to kind of make mention of that. So cheers to Mr. Pigsley. All right. So anyway, so part of the context was a little bit of that. So I had, needless to say, you'll see a little bit of whiskey, and the outcome was pretty funny. We'll show a little clip of that. It's maybe about, I don't know, 40 seconds or something, but let me share the screen. And again, we were tasting through the M&J. We were picking one of the outliers amongst the whole entire thing. Jason left for a second. I was at this point already in my own little world, and it was well, let's play the little clip, and you'll see exactly how things were. If I need to play it again to kind of give you guys a little reference as to where I was amongst everything, this will give you a little idea of how how the Wednesday evening was going. So hopefully, I think it'll play the audio. If it doesn't, we'll make sure it does. So here's the small little clip of me also wanting to drink in honor of Mr. Scott Pigsley. So here we go, and let's give this a whirl. To try to pick out exactly what it was that we were drinking, I mean, come on. Embrace the Pete. I will. I'll do it. I'll drink a little just in the whole solidarity.
The whole what? Solidarity?
Yeah, solidarity.
Yeah.
To try to pick out oh man. So anyway, there you had. I was drinking in solidarity or whatever that was. Needless to say, at that point, I already had a few too many. So I'm gonna have to keep that. I'm gonna have to keep that one stored away at the old bank real quick. So it was. I'll tell you what. It was at that point. Whiskey and words were not my friend. I'll tell you that right now. But it was a fun night. Thursday was not good for me. I'll tell you that. Thursday was a little rough. Everybody knew that, but it was a good one. So it was, oh my God, it was just very. It was a good night, but I'll tell you what, it was a brutal Thursday. So there you go. There was, when you're trying to put together a word like solidarity, when you've had a lot of whiskey, that's exactly what comes out. So it was not a good thing. So yeah, I didn't fall off the chair, didn't get tangled, but I'll tell you, walking was a difficult thing. Yeah, could have been either one of those two old people. So they both mingle up their words all over the place. But anyway, so that was a fun. Oh, he was lurking. All right, he was lurking. As soon look at this. Yeah, he did. He did make an absolutely delicious. I was struggling on Thursday. I was like even upstairs, like sleeping for a little while my wife, Jason, Kim, and Jason's mom were all downstairs eating all the meats and delicious stuff. I managed to finally get a little bit of bread and stuff in me and get down. And he made, to his credit, an absolutely fantastic Italian dish. Like it was a great shrimp dish. And it was like a hangover cure for me at that point. So once I got that food and everything in me, admittedly, it made me feel a million times better. But as you guys can see, all right, let me give it to you one more time as we part, and we'll call it a night. So here you go. Here's a little more solidarity. Enjoy. To try to pick out exactly what it was that we were drinking, I mean, come on. Embrace the Pete. I will. I'll do it. I'll drink a little just in the whole solidarity.
The whole what? Solidarity?
Yeah, solidarity.
Yeah.
To try to pick out exactly what it was that we were drinking. Oh my goodness. That was just too much. I'll tell you. It was a good Wednesday night, that's for sure. Looking back, it was really good. Once I woke up on Thursday, it was not so good. But anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight and kind of going through some of this. Funny the second time. Yeah, I could probably play it a million times and it just gets better. But the more everybody started watching, and there were a lot of people that had already made clips of that, and it was on Jason's Discord. It was all over the place. So needless to say, the Solider or whatever it was that was kind of going on that night was was a lot of fun. So anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Greatly appreciate it as always. Here's what we'll say in closing. Jim Beam 7, I think it's a buy, $20. Great little value. The Green River Full Proof, $50, 117.3 proof. Fantastic. I think it's a great buy. These both kind of fall into that really nice value for your money type of thing. And the one this Ancient Cave collection from Ben Holladay, I'll tell you what, it's a really nice bourbon. And it's, if you can get it somehow, specifically the French oak that this is, low heavy toast, low char, fantastic. Brings out a lot of that spiciness. So absolutely fantastic. So let's see here. All right, here we go. One more shot, and we'll give you guys. Come on. Embrace the Pete. I will. I'll do it. I'll drink a little just in the whole solidarity.
The whole what?
Solidarity? Yeah, solidarity.
Yeah.
To try to pick out. Oh my God. Anyway, there you go. Good closing right there. So we'll say this, in solidarity. We'll close it with that. But thanks, guys. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight and having a little fun and kind of kidding around. And if you can't poke fun at yourself, then what's the fun? So you gotta be able to take it all. But it was a fun stream tonight. So thanks everybody for joining. Not sure what I have for next week, but in 2 weeks, I will have Bill McBrayer, Whiskey on. We'll be talking about some of his new releases. his kind of family story, I think for anybody who doesn't know about McBrayer whiskey and kind of that history, I think you'll find it very, very fascinating. So hopefully you'll tune in a couple weeks. Still working on trying to get the guys from Still Austin on. We'll kind of do. I know they've been a little bit busy with Nancy Fraley down there, but we'll continue to have some fun. So hey, Dano, I see you in there, buddy. Anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate everyone for hanging out for a little while. And as always, remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night. We will see you guys next week. Cheers, guys.